Reconnective healing can also be booked as a distance healing session. This is unique to Reconnective healing instead of the reconnection, which you need to book with a practitioner that you can actually see in his or her office. I have worked with people from all over the world, including Brazil, the United States, Saudi Arabia, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and so forth. So basically, distance healing sessions are part of my daily practice life, and the effectiveness of such sessions are the same as with one-on-one sessions that you will come to see me here in Switzerland. I know you're probably asking, how is this possible? But basically, the answer lies within the mechanism of reconnective healing, which is far different than the mechanism of energy healing or any other modality that we've seen so far on the planet. Basically, I'm not sending anything to you across the pond, or from Switzerland to Brazil, or from Switzerland to Australia, or to China, or to Japan, or Germany. But what I'm doing is I'm simply feeling and sensing and observing the frequencies, and with that enter a state of inner peace, of awareness, which seems to open up a door or a space in which you also enter a state of relaxation and peace called emotional quiescence, allowing you to have a direct interaction with the frequencies, meaning there's nothing coming from me that is being sent to you, but what you encounter is directly coming from the source of the reconnective healing frequencies, which you could call God, love, universe, or whatever you feel comfortable with. So in other words, whether you're here or whether you're wherever you live, lying on a sofa, bed, or the floor, you will get the same out of a session no matter what. There's another interesting premise which you may be familiar with, or you may hear for the very first time. Today we know that everything is one, that everything is interconnected. Now this connectedness is not always obvious, because if you look at me and you look at yourself, there is a seeming separation and there is a seeming difference. But if we took your body part and my body part and we looked at the quantum physical, the tiniest level of all things, we would find the connection. Now I know you're probably not going to see this, and I'm probably also not going to see this, at least in this state, but that's hypothetically what quantum physicists are talking about today. And there's a very interesting study which they have conducted. Basically have taken a DNA swab from somebody's saliva and put it in a petri dish. Now, as you're probably familiar, when you're looking or confronted with negative imagery that causes you to get startled or get nervous or afraid, you can sense and actually also see certain reactions within your body. The same is true if you're confronted with positive imagery that maybe makes you feel loved or centered or peaceful and so forth. The same is true for the DNA. You can literally see how the DNA is relaxing when you are experiencing positive emotions, and is constricting and under enormous stress when you are confronted or looking at very negative things or experiencing very negative emotions. The same is true for this test. So with this DNA swab, which they put in a petri dish and separated it from the person itself, first they just put it in a separate room, then they would actually separate it up to 400 miles, and then they would confront the test person with different images and record his or her reaction. Interestingly enough is that the same reactions could be measured in the petri dish, meaning with the DNA. Now what was even more surprising and fascinating was that the reactions actually happened simultaneously, meaning that the scientists had to conclude that there must be a connection between the DNA swab in the petri dish and the donor, even though they were geographically separated up to 400 miles. And this very, very well explains or shows that we are always connected, and therefore it is more than logical that we can do distance healing sessions with Reconnective Healing without frowning, without losing the effectiveness.